Hey friends, welcome to another episode of the Logline Lab. I've got something really special this week. Um, I've wanted to write an idea for a long time and it finally came to me. And again, I mean, I could potentially write these one day, but, wait. Um, ready for notes. Um, I don't know yet. I've got like 2 or 3 scripts that I'm still working on at the moment, so I just don't have a shortage of ideas. That's why I write them down and now I'm documenting them. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Pen in hand, I got my paper here. And so the idea that I want to start with is a motorcycle idea because I ride a motorcycle. And, there's like, I guess, very few to no movies like that feature motorcycles in a bigger way than they're used to in usually like action films and stuff. Anyway, I used to watch this cartoon when I was a kid called The Bikers from Mars. I think that's the American version. How the English, how it's said in English. It was about these 3 rats from Mars who ride motorcycles and come to, and some people wanna, the human people wanna. I can't actually remember the plot. It's probably some evil people who were exploiting Earth or Mars or whatever, and Earth, I suppose. And they were they kicked out of Mars? It doesn't matter. This isn't about that. This is about. I used to watch that cartoon. I used to love it, not knowing at the time that I would be riding a motorcycle when I get older. But anyway, so the idea that I had was we're gonna make them teenagers. Teenagers, 5 of them on motorcycles, and they have psychic abilities. So there's again another show that I watched. I wasn't like a teen at that point, but I was in my 20s, I guess. Um, The Misfits. It was a British show. Is it a web series? British web series? I'm not sure, but it was about these I guess juvenile or like kids who were on like community service type of thing. And then I think there was like a meteor or a storm of some kind, and it hit next to them close enough that they got psychic abilities basically. Anyway, so I'm gonna put those two together, and so there's these 5 kids. They ride motorcycles. They're very good at it, and they all have psychic abilities, and they are fed up with the system that basically is rigged for the wealthy. It's kind of like a Robin Hood thing, I suppose. Mashing all these films together, these stories together. Um, yeah, so they're sick and tired of their social statuses and things like that, and the system being rigged and benefiting the rich, and so they decide that they're gonna commit some like impossible art heists, and make money, and then use that money for what they interpret as good. Uh, and of course, it'll be really hard to catch them at first because they have psychic abilities, so they are able to do certain things that um, the average person can't. I guess we'll have to figure out how they got their powers. It's not coming to me, but that's also not really the point. The point is that they're able to pull off a lot of these impossible heists because of their psychic abilities and their superpowers. And until, like, of course, one day I don't know, investigator who's trying to figure out how to catch these things, finally figures out that, oh, that's why we can never figure out how they're doing this because we never knew, or we were never aware of the possibility that people would have psychic abilities and they were using them to carry these acts out. So yeah, that's gonna be the conflict, obviously, that this investigator is going after them to catch them. Um, and of course, the pull is, the cool thing about Robin Hood that we all loved, I suppose, is that even though Robin Hood does what he does, he's doing it to then give back to like fight back the system or the unfairness, make some kind of justice for the unfairness that the system carries out. Um, yeah, but we get to watch these five kids on motorcycles pulling this off, and I don't want. I just had this image in my head, like kind of like the Power Rangers, but on a motorcycle. No, but yes, something like that. Anyway, so that was my idea for that, and I knew like I'm gonna call it Grand Theft Moto instead of Grand Theft Auto. Uh, that was that was fun. That was fun title that came to me when I wanted to come up with this idea. So that's it. That's it. That's my first idea. Um, I'll come up with a log line. So the second idea was, so last week I did an episode about the Creature Island, and for me to come up with that idea, I came up with a different. I was trying to come up with a horror, and I did come up with like a animal horror idea. And that was it's basically the same concept, but done differently. So it would be there's this species that has been believed to have gone extinct for a while, but there's a photographer who happens to be taking pictures. Like, let's say it's a photographer from National Geographic, and they're taking pictures, and all of a sudden they catch this creature that they've never seen before, and after taking a look at it, they realize, oh wait, we do recognize this. It's been extinct. We thought there were none, but there is more. So it keeps taking pictures of the creature, and the creature finally catches them, the photographer, taking pictures of it, and charges and kills the photographer. And then, of course, however much later, an expedition or some hikers come and they find the camera, and then they look at it and they're like, wait, what the hell? Um, and that's how the movie starts. Like, wait, we thought this was extinct, and they go and they tell people, and people are like, well, if it's not extinct, let's go find it. Let's go take more pictures, right? As humans like to do. But here's the thing: this species, this creature that's been extinct, it's actually the last of its kind, and she's pregnant. And so, basically, this animal's psyche or like defense mechanism, the way that it's set up, is it knows it has been around for a long time. It's been hiding long enough that humans thought it was extinct. But it all it knows is that it's watched humans do all of these things that put natural life or wildlife at risk, and that's kind of why it went into hiding. But now it's pregnant, and it's the last of its species, so it's now tasked to keep its species from being extinct, and so the like mother instincts have popped in. So the animal knows, if I really want to survive and if I want to keep being, it's like people not know about me and not mess around with us, um I must kill everything that could possibly know. Every human that has ever seen me or knows about me must die. And now it becomes this hunter that, like, if it even gets an inkling that you know about it or you're there or close, and that you could potentially make it so that the world doesn't think it is extinct, it is gonna hunt you and kill you like an animal horror film does. Yeah, so that was my idea about a last species is pregnant of a is pregnant, and it knows the humans ruin everything, and so they must not know. I must kill everything that is aware of me, everything of a human nature that is aware of me. Um, and yeah, that was the idea I had for an animal horror film. That I thought, well, that's kind of there. Again, I don't think I'd enjoy sitting down and writing that for a couple of months. But anyway, I did have that idea, and I thought, ooh, animal horror people might really enjoy that. And that's it. Those are the two ideas that I wanted to talk about this week. And I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked about them. I come up with horror ideas because I know I'm not likely to sit down and write them ever, because I don't like horror. But just to get ideas for stories brings me a lot of joy, and spends it's fun in my head. It's just fun in my head. Um, they don't necessarily need to come to life, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed them, and I'll see you in just a minute for the log lines. Grand Theft Moto. Action, sci-fi. Fed up with the system rigged for the wealthy, 5 motorcycle-riding psychic teens use their abilities to pull off impossible heists as a relentless investigator uncovers the reasons behind their mission and questions whether true justice is enforcing the law or challenging it. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments. Breed Extinction. Animal horror. After a prehistoric species believed to be extinct is discovered, a wildlife biologist must lead her team to safety as the creature hunts down every witness to keep its existence hidden from humanity. Would you watch or pass? Put it in the comments.